Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me. Hope this is clear. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, John. How's it going, guys? Just make sure I can see that this is on. One second, guys. Hope this is clear. It is on and it is clear. I got to make sure because I've been having little glitches here and there with X and YouTube with audio sound on this. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for indulging me. And here we go. Part 2 of the Daredevil, The Man Without Fear series by Frank Miller, John Romita Jr., and Al Williamson. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it. And we left off, with battling Jack Murdock, paying the price for winning the fight that he was supposed to drop because of the Fixer. And as he put it, at the end, through the blood, toothless, he throws the Fixer a young man's grin. At the end, it's a mercy. Blam. He gets murdered by these savages. Hey, Flatey. And then we get here. It's the origin. Well, this is the origin of Daredevil, and then you get to see also Elektra, which is an early, version, and again drawn by John Romita Jr. A little differently than Miller, clearly. And here we go. I'll get right into it. We can go back and forth at a certain point. Every 4 or 5 pages, I think I'll go back to the comments. What you guys have to say, we'll go back and forth on that. So, at the morgue, after Matt is finished playing dumb to the cops, pretending he doesn't know the who or why of his father's death, because he knows it's the Fixer. He knows it's these guys. Hail Tarks 9. The coroner lets Matt touch the corpse. It's cold, icy cold, but not as cold as the thing that grows in Matt's belly. Hello out there. Let me pull this up a little more, a little bigger. That's pretty good. Okay. Might as well just show it off a little bigger here. I don't want to go too, I want to make sure. Okay. Let's go here. I think that's fine. He spied on his father. He knows what Jack Murdock did to protect and provide for his son. And he knows the smells and sounds of the killers. And he knows their names, Mikhail, Gillian, the first two. And he's, here's they're drunk as hell walking down the street. That's a great shot too. Just the whole design work here. Really, really good. So I told that dame, I told her, good. Hey, pass it over, will you? Glub, tap, 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 tap. Blind man with a cane. Drink up, boys. It'll help with the pain. What the hell? Who's dumb enough to mess with us? Somebody with nothing to lose. Snick, cash. Somebody dead. You're dead all right, pal. Dark in there. I can't see. Well, then neither can he, right? Right. Wood. An hour later, in response to an anonymous tip, Murdoch. It was Jack Murdoch. We killed him, but he's back. It's a great shot right there. Everything here, and the cop, a rock solid cop there, plus with the lighting on the back, the dark in the front with light overhead. It's very, very nice. Again, it's just rock solid draftsmanship here by Romita and Williamson. And then you got this stuff here. It's just awesome. In the gym, the next two murderers. The big one, Slade, whose fist splintered Jack Murdoch's jaw and ribs. Slade. And slick little Marcello, who laughed as he carved up Murdoch's face. All Matt has to do is throw a circuit breaker, and they're as blind as he is. Hey, what happened to the lights? I can't stand it when it's dark. Ah, Marcello, you wimp. Wood, boom, boom. I don't know what these sounds are. Wood, wood, wood. I don't really care for that, what Miller's doing there. I usually make these sounds like it's a lot more effective, like a D apostrophe SH with an exclamation mark. I did that in Table 4 and even Pigman. With a G or you know. Wood, wood, wood. I don't know. Wood, wood, wood. It's okay, I guess. What the hell? Marcello, where are you? Oof. He's like, huh? Come on, big guy. Don't be afraid. Now, this is a very young Matt Murdock here, guys. It's interesting, he's taking on all these guys, and he's confident enough that he can take them up, but he's very young. Maybe 13, 14, I don't know, but he's very young. Maybe even younger, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. But he's very small compared to these guys. You'll see it when the size difference when Slade gets in there. He goes, here, I'll lose the bat if it'll make you feel better. The guy's like, I'll break you in half, little man. It's a kind of confidence that every idiot always has before they get their ass kicked. Here he is, towering over him. And it gets pretty brutal here, gotta say. I like all that excess hair there. It's really good. He goes, he looms over Matt, smug, eager, chuckling. Matt thinks of recess, of 100 beatings and endless giggles and taunts. He thinks of taking it and taking it and taking it. And the rage of years becomes a lightning bolt that travels from shoulder to hip to foot, and he releases it. That's awesome. It's really, really well put by Miller. The years, and the rage of years becomes a lightning bolt that travels from shoulder to hip to foot, and he releases it. Crack. Ah, look at that. The bone pops right out there, and the colorist didn't color the bone white, and they didn't make the blood red. In this thing, blood gets purple. That's as far as they go, which is unfortunate. Very traditional colors here, nothing too bold. But it would have been nice if, like, a Christy Shield, if a Lynn Farley colored this. But anyway, Matt listens to Slade's sudden, frantic breathing. He tastes fresh blood strike the air. He smells the panic in the big man's sweat. The guy's coughing. He slides a roll of pennies to his fist. Kug, kug, kug. That's a better sound effect. Clag. Look at that. Breaks it all out on the guy's face. At the door, sudden raspy intake of breath to lungs that are weak from decades of abuse, and the scent of tobacco mixed with expensive aftershave. The fixer. Let him run. Crook. Until Matt's finished turning ribs into broken, jagged things. He really put in the work here. I mean, he took these guys out, he broke them. I mean, broke their legs, broke their arms, broke their ribs. He really let them have it. I don't blame him at all. Now, pick up the sounds. Even this right here, that's a great drawing. That whole setup here, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. The shadow off the fixer. From that wall to the back wall, the shadow is fantastic. It's very effective here also, coming through there. Hope you guys can see my arrow. I'm not sure about that sometimes. Now, pick up the sounds. Clatter of fleeing footsteps, awkward, painful sucking of air, a pounding heart. Angelo, get us out of here now. Scree. Angelo and the fixer, the last two out of 6 of these savages. So easy to track the limo's engine and the fixer's uncontrollable coughing. So easy. Stick taught him well. Stick. He'll hate me for this, Matt thinks. And for a moment, Matt cares about this. Then the cold part of him takes over again. I like that. Things are not as clear sometimes. I mean, we even are conscious of what we're doing sometimes to the point where we're like, yeah, but God damn it, that part of me is dominating right now. I'm gonna ignore the rest. It jumps right on top of that car. That's very well done here, also with the silhouettes, with lined silhouettes. You know, in most comics, they'd be all, you know, they'd be filled in black, but here they're lined. It's again that Williamson effect. Very, very effective. Very nice. Very different. Puts the bat right through the windshield. Yeah, crash. And Matt falls and hurts himself. Matt's skull strikes pavement, a lost moment, then the footsteps heading to the subway. Matt ignores the dizziness and the sticky, salty taste of his own blood and follows the fixer's heartbeat. It's so fast, so weak, and he's coughing again. Then a horrid horn blast and an unholy roar, a train, deafening, deafening, deafening. Matt can only strain to keep his feet beneath him until it passes. Then a sound made of oil and steel, a revolver cocked, and that breath and that breathing, that heartbeat, that heartbeat pounding, fluttering, stopping. The fixer slumps to the floor with a sigh and breathes his last pathetic breath, and Matt is alone in the station, alone but not finished. One remains, Angelo. I thought that was that, but I guess not. There's one more. Let me go to some comments here. Tarks9 says, need this series back in my collection. Yeah, I got a hardcover, but I want that. I want the artist edition. I really, really do. I would love to have that. It's got to be done. I mean, this is, you know, even according to John Romita Jr. himself, this is his finest work. You know, at least give the man his due. He's been working at Marvel for 40 years, if not 50 at this point, which is crazy. Give him his due. You know, even publish the pencils, maybe. I don't know. Just make it, you know, special. It's already over 30 years old. Yeah, I got to stock up on some DD Comics. Flatty says, yeah, it's just great stuff, man. Again, you know, there's a lot of Daredevil comics, but Miller, as soon as he hit 168 with the Elektra story to 191, 227 to 233, and then this series, Man Without Fear, Elektra Lives Again. You know, those things are all-timers. And then also that interesting graphic novel, that the Daredevil graphic novel that Frank Miller did with Bill Sienkiewicz, with the Kingpin and Vanessa. I mean, it's interesting, man. I mean, one incredible moment there with the doctor who's treating Kingpin's wife. Maybe I'll look over that as well at some point. I have that in my collection as well. It's interesting stuff. Yeah, those the best of the best. And I gotta say, he shamed everyone else who did Daredevil. There were moments here and there, the Lee Week stuff with DG Chichester and all that. Some moments are pretty good, but no, they're not up to par with this exactly, or with Daredevil Born Again. Hill, Headless Bourgeois. I'm not muted. Okay. So he says, yeah, sounds good and clear to me. Weird, has to restart. Okay, good. You hear me now. Comic books in cahoots. Those women are smoking hot. They're whores at this one club, I guess, that the Fixer had. Love and War, Headless Bourgeois. That's right. Daredevil, Love and War. You know, it's not... there's moments in there that are great. Moments. It's not... It's a different, really different feel of a graphic novel. Also, the Elektra Assassin series is fantastic. That's worth looking through as well. Flatty One says, been a miserable 2 weeks at work, but for almost the last 14 days, I've received a CG or indie comic in the mail. Going to be Killer Comics Weekend. That's awesome. I'm sorry to hear that, but that's awesome. I've been getting a little more of the CG comics as well. You know, slowly but surely. Art says, got the new Youngblood, so worth it, Rob at his peak, and whoever the colorist is excelled. Hello. I don't understand that art. I just don't. That was a shit series. I don't get it. I don't. I never will. I never have. Even back in the day, I was like, this is terrible. I don't buy it either that it's an actual piece that people are excited about. I just don't. It was so damn bad, so badly drawn, so badly written. I don't get it. But again, people are talking about it. It's like a thing now. Remastered, is that what it is? As in fully redrawn by an artist? Is that, if that's what it is, okay, I get it. Like if Greg Capullo went there and redid the whole thing, I mean, I'll get it myself. Outside of that, no. I'm being facetious, but I just don't get it. I never will. Again, yeah, but his art has energy. Yeah, because he didn't use any energy in learning how to draw. That's why his art has critical energy. But that's a whole different thing. I'll never concede anything about that. I know people tend to want to push you into that direction. Like, no, no, it has value. Like, you know what? Okay. To each their own. No, he's terrible. And again, him and the horrific editors who got him in there collapsed the standards of art in the comic book industry. They're the ones who told every schmuck out there who sucks, hey, you too can draw comics alongside Alex Toth, John Buscema, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Ramita. You too can do that. No, they can't actually. And that's my little rant. And let me get back to the story. But you know what, art, you can give it a shot. Give it a shot. Try to sell it. Besides some nostalgic thing. Art says there's a remaster and a new series. Talking about the new series, though, the remaster is nice. Talking about the new series. Okay, so I guess 30 years later, I guess that would be the case. Over 30 years later. Wasn't that like 1992 or 3? Mikey Getz says, Hail Bosch and chat. Sorry about Riley. I like you both. It's retarded. Thank God for the reviews, though. I read along with you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, look, that little bitch accused me of killing children. Me. Not just of wanting to be a baby killer, as well as Pigman. So that's that. There's no way you can, communicate with an idiot like that. It's impossible. And it doesn't matter the shtick that he has, all that. It doesn't matter. I don't need that in my life. Someone accused me of being a baby killer. I just don't. And also one thing, he's siding with baby killers against Israel. That's what he's doing. So, but fuck him. Anyway, meanwhile, in a hospital, and Murdoch, he could see in the dark, and he had 6 arms. Huh. Murdoch's lying in a morgue with 2 arms and a tag on his toe, buddy. It's a ghost, Lieutenant. It was him. It was Murdoch. The guy, look how burnt out that cop is. So either we got us a ghost or used guys been hitting the sauce too hard, or we got us a vigilante. Me, I'm betting on the sauce. Striking panel here of Matt looking down on that building. It's fantastic. Everything about it. Again, I think it was Klaus Janson who said something about Ramita and how good he is, but also he said his perspective is impeccable. That's worth noting. For some artists, it's just not. Ramita is fantastic when it comes to making things placed well in the world, in the panels. One remains, Angelo. He thinks he's escaped. Escaped to a place of thick perfumes and practiced passion. They know him here. He thinks he's safe. Just relax, Angelo. We'll take care of you. It was kind of crazy, man. Out of nowhere, Matt just attacks. It's a raid. But we're paid up. That's no cop. Kill him. Kill him. Damn. That's that escalated. Kill him. A tangle of flesh. I mean, they're not just hookers, they're actually thugs. A tangle of flesh, fists and fingernails and curses and shouts. Choking perfume, too much. Matt thrashes. Knocks over this lady. Just, trying to get away from them. And, oh, please, no. She doesn't scream. She prays to God, and then there is the crunch of bone and the splatter of blood across pavement. No, no, no. She's dead. He killed her. He didn't even know her, and he killed her. He runs helpless in horror. He runs to the basement seeking his teacher, not finding him. So he's a little reckless there. Um, and if I remember correctly, guys, I think they try to pretend that that woman survived and she ends up being Typhoid Mary in some other series. I might be wrong, but you guys may have remembered that more so than I did. But it sounds right to me that was the case. He runs to the gym. He screams the name, Stick, Stick. He screams until his voice is hoarse and croaking and his throat is full of sand. Stick, Stick. But there is no answer. Good stuff here. Just great storytelling, great drawing, angles, perspective. That's a great shot too of Stone. Art says 33 years since Youngblood. Wow, been a while. His art is refined, same style of story though. Hot-blooded machismo in action, like certain 90s action flicks. Seriously though, those colors, need to look up the colorist. Comic Books and Go says, I saw Ramito's drafting table and it was gigantic, allowing him to get crazy perspective lines. Yeah, I got myself a big draft table also, and it's on a near, almost just straight angle, but I got to put it a little, at least basically with my face. You guys can see a little of it there, how high it gets. I just work better that way. It's and also there's no warping, and by warping, what I mean is, I think you see some artists sometimes, and you see the way I think they draw on flat tables. You can't do that. You can't do that. If you want to draw, a doodle, I get a comic book page. I think Carmine Infantino, as far as I know, drew on a flat table, and that's why all his characters looked flat and wide, because he couldn't see them directly as he was drawing them, meaning he thought he was drawn a certain way, and it ends up being warped. And some artists do that as well. There's something to be said about drawing at that level where it's almost right alongside your head. You don't have to tilt too much. You don't have to go back or nothing. Look over like this or like this, even just looking down. No, there's a reason why it's that way, and I tilt it too, again, to the point where it's almost you can't place anything on it. Clearly, you got to tape things and put a little tack or something. Anyway, thanks, Art. I mean, I'm glad you're excited about it. I will say that. It seems people are. I just don't get it. I've never gotten it. Again, I never. It's like rap music. Never got it. Never will. Don't care to. I think it's ugly. I think it's an assault on music. I do. I think it's nihilism, dirty, nasty shit. The whole source of it's just by scumbags, really. It's an assault, an audio assault on music. It's not music. And then you got an exception like this, as I said, this one song called Giants or Giant. It's good. It's good. And the reason why I like it, I think, is the rap is aggressive. He's not just, yeah, yeah, and, not that bullshit. No, with no energy. The guy's actually working it to the point where you could hear him losing his voice a little. Meaning he showed some energy. He showed some grit in there. I don't mind that. And the music is good because it's not your shit rap music, with a little beat that they stole from someone. So country music, rap music, heavy metal, I just can't do. I just can't. Or, allegedly exciting, 90s style action comics by Rob Liefeld. He's never written anything I think that was ever worth noting. I don't think even his fans can say, oh man, remember that one line? Remember that one line of dialogue? Remember that one description? I don't think any of his fans can even say that. And I know he's a nice guy and all that. Who gives a fuck? We're not talking about being nice. We're not talking about a guy who treats his fans nicely and all that. He doesn't treat his fans nicely because he didn't put in the work. It's like Eric July, right? He disrespects his fans by not giving a fuck how to write stories. Rob Liefeld, but not giving a fuck how to draw comics. It's a self-respect lacking factor. They lack self-respect and therefore lack respect for their audience. It is of a piece. If you don't respect yourself, you don't give a fuck to learn your craft. You just burp something out there and shit it out there. There was that one commercial with Spike Lee with Rob Liefeld. He goes, I never went to drawing school. Yeah, Everyone knows that, Rob. You just confirmed it. That's all you did. You know, you didn't give a shit to put in the work, to put in those 10,000 bad drawings. He still hasn't even gotten to a 10,000 drawings at this point. So I'll rail against that forever, guys, because again, this is a serious business with serious people, and people who respect themselves, you know, want to release good work that respects their audience. If you don't do that, you don't give a fuck for yourself, for your craft, for the medium itself, and especially the fans, because you're giving them shit for a lot of money. You're not putting in the work. You don't give a shit about story. You don't give a shit, Again, to me, Average July is the Rob Liefeld of writing comics. Rob Liefeld is the Average July of drawing comics. They should get together, you know. They really should. Because that's where they belong. Doesn't deserve better artists, and Rob Liefeld doesn't deserve better writers. Imagine if Frank Miller. Imagine, just guys, picture this, please. Okay, I know you guys will tell yourself all these things about him, right? Look at Dark Knight Returns. Tell me if Rob Liefeld drew that, it would be as good. Tell me Daredevil Born Again will be as good. Tell me Batman Year One will be as good if Rob Liefeld drew that. Please, just try. Tell me if Watchmen will be great if Rob Liefeld draw it. Tell me Amazing Spider-Man, 1 to 38 will be great if a guy like Rob Liefeld drew it. So let's get serious here, guys. I know you have your taste. I know you have your nostalgia. But I love comics. I love this medium. And I hate those who don't give a fuck for it. I hate them. So that's my rant. And back to this great work. Thanks for being here, guys, and thanks for taking it, because sometimes I don't intend to. I don't want to alienate people. I sure as hell don't. I like you guys. I like that you're here. I appreciate the hell out of it. But I'm not gonna pretend to go along with stuff that I completely abhor. I won't do that. But thanks for being here, and thanks for indulging me. Let's continue. Mikey Getz says, I wish I was rich. I'd buy that original art page of the guy jumping. We screamed, they don't in a heartbeat. How has nobody bought that? Yeah, nobody has yet, even though there's a number of pages that have been sold. A few for Table of One and a handful of Pigman. But it is available, guys, on the campaign as well. Original art pages. There'll be about 60 plus art pages available for that. So because I'm adding at least probably 10 more in addition to the ones I have and the remastered. And I'm going to go through it, tooth and nail. I'm going to really try to look at it and say, okay, how can this be improved, dramatized a little more effective, and so on and so on. It's interesting because I'm thinking about all these things. I'm like, okay, I know I can do that better. I know I can improve that. I know I can refine it a little more, and so on, and add some stuff as well. It'll be interesting, this whole process. It's coming together. I just got to take these notes and keep reminding myself, okay, I think I can do this, and I'm getting to it. But thanks, guys. Yeah, just again, memorable stuff, memorable lines, memorable stories. These things, we remember these things. We remember Batman saying, "Believe me, man. Believe me, I'll kill her. Believe me, I'll kill her." About the baby, I'll kill her. Batman, I believe you. That's legendary stuff. Never compromise, not even in the face of Armageddon. Legendary dialogue. And then here's the most legendary dialogue from Average July. Here's the most legendary panels from Rob Liefeld. The most memorable panel Rob Liefeld ever did was a complete ripoff of a Ronin. Complete ripoff. And it lost the complete context because in the Ronin part, it was the last act of a desperate man, the last moment of his entire life, as far as he knew. In the Ronin thing, it's just a cool move he made. Because he has a healing factor, he punctured himself to get to the guy behind him. That's retarded. That's like Zack Snyder style comics, Anyway, thanks, guys, and I'm gonna call shit, whether you love it or not. But again, Dark, in particular, Daredevil Born Again, as drawn by Rob Liefeld. Disgusting. I mean, disgusting. Could never pull it off. And you guys pretend that, he's worth. I mean, it's a joke. It's like, how can what's another example? Um, Absolutely. Comic books in cahoots. I mean, speak your mind, Bosch. It's our first freedom. Of course, at the same time, it's like, I do got to push back on this stuff because it has crippled our industry of comics. It has really crippled it. Shit people making shit comics hurts it terribly. It's not by accident, guys, that all those shit comics came out in the '90s. People came to rush them and say, "What the fuck? These shits suck. There's no stories here," and it bombed within a few years. The comic book industry just collapsed. They went extreme in terms of killing Superman and then breaking Batman's back and so on. It was like, okay, where do you go from there? Let's try to one up that. It doesn't work. Um, Mikey says, Pigman reminds me of Frank Miller, but with balls. Excellent. Thank you. It's inspired, I mean, clearly by Miller, clearly. Dark Knight Returns. Um, I'm not conscious of it. I'm not saying Dark Knight Returns, I have to know. But it's such a damn great book. It's one of my, it's a legendary book that it has to seep in to my thinking about what constitutes a good comic book, especially one that deals with politics and culture and all that the way Miller did. The media's response to Batman is the media's response to Pigman here, and so on, and social media as well. I touch on all that from the sports, casters talking about this, pretending that they have something to say about it, from CNN to Mika and Joe, those pieces of shit. I have them all in there. I have Jon Stewart. I have, Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly, Jon Stewart. I have all these talking heads in there, and it's fun. It's something that Miller did, and that clearly was a little, inspired by that clearly. But again, I'm not self-conscious of these things. But again, I love this medium. We got to give it our best. We got to give our best effort. And hacks don't. They don't give a fuck. It's about profit. Profit, profit, profit. The same thing that happened in 1992. If you guys remember 1993, whatever it was, with Rob Liefeld, when he sold out first issue, he had a big double page ad in Comic Buyer's Guide. Sold out. I'm like, indeed. But you had nothing to sell anyway. It's like that was a big deal. It was like, early inklings of like Average July, all those things, all those prices that they talks about. That's not the thing. It's not the thing. It's the stories. It's the art. It should be at least. Um, Flatty one says that's the one thing I really enjoy with CG artists. It's clear to me that the top tier artists continually push themselves from one issue to the next. We have to. I mean, this is a. We're also cornered in a lot of ways, guys. We're not. We're on the outskirts of the industry. We're on the outskirts. I was pre-rejected, I was pre-rejected, meaning I had a foot in the door with DC. I had a foot in the door with Marvel. Joe Quesada liking what he saw from Table for One. Mark Ruffalo, the art director, liking what he saw because Toth, mentioned me and I sent him the stuff, things like that. But I never quite broke in. I remember once I went to Marvel. I mean, I don't know when it was. It must have been so many years ago. I tried to walk in and just push my way in and just show them my stuff. I couldn't get in. Conventions show my art here and there, and um, but again, it's a field that is they lock you out if you're not a communist. And that's not an exaggeration, guys. If you're not a goddamn commie, you're out. If you are clearly not a commie, you're out. If you can fake it to some extent, you know, as some do, there are still non-communists in comics, and they keep their mouths shut, and yeah, they hurt themselves. I think it's soul destroying in a lot of ways because they're working for commies and they're producing shit that they can't be proud of. Really, um, it's just a nasty thing that they've done with this industry. It's become completely one-sided, completely corrupt. Flatty says, he continues, instead of competing with each other, they are competing with themselves from one issue to the next. Well put, Flatty. That's exactly true. That's exactly right. Inspiring one another also. Um, Looking at these comics and looking how these guys put it to the limit, you're like, okay, you know, you might become a little more conscious about some way that you can improve it also in your own work. And by being your best, you can push others to be their best, and so on. It's like, I mean, we're all self motivated. We all have our own thing going. We all have our own styles, our own way of telling stories. At the same time, you can be inspired by people's great work, clearly, naturally. I'm not in comics if Frank Miller doesn't do what he does. I'm just not. Frank Miller doesn't do Daredevil Born Again, Batman Year One, Dark Knight Returns. I'm not a cartoonist. I'm not a writer and artist. I'm just not. And I was always, some of the guys they were talking about like they were into the art aspect. I was always into the writing and the art aspect of stories, both. But when Miller came around, it was like, okay, this is a guy who's really writing at a high level and drawing well. Not as well as some of the other guys, but drawing well and sometimes really good. But the writing, that was the killer. That was the thing that really elevated him above everyone else. It was the writing. I mean, whatever you think about Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen, however compelling Watchmen can be, Dark Knight Returns is a superior comic book adventure story with a superhero. And it has all the cerebral aspects of Watchmen, but it's more exciting, bigger moments, better dialogue, more impactful moments. I mean, the closer you get to something like that, Watchmen is Rorschach, who's based on Ditko and Ayn Rand. So it's more going out of it outside of himself in order to make a character and thinking that he's diminishing, Ditko and Rand when he's actually elevating a story and pissing, himself off at the end because people are compelled by, they find Rorschach compelling, not repulsive as he wanted them to find him, as he finds him, because he's stupid. Um, Comic books and Cahoots says the 90s gold rush in comics brought a lot of bullshit by everybody and their brother looking to cash in 100%, just like Average July is doing now after the success of comics. Exactly right. That's exactly what he's doing, what happened back then. Shit artists who came in there on the coattails of Rob Liefeld, who should never have been able to get in, but he did because I'm thinking there was something dirty about him getting in. I mean, he probably, I wouldn't be shocked if he stole images over the years because you saw him and Rob and Tom McFarlane swiping people. They swiped people in the early comics. You know, McFarlane did it with Maz Kelly in Batman year two. I mean, specific images. He did a Daredevil issue, Tom McFarlane, which he stole moments from Maz Kelly's Daredevil. Just with no shame, just swipe them. I'm thinking Rob Liefeld did that, got him maybe a decent anchor and got in. And once he was in, then he was in. Then he had anchors doing the above and beyond work to make him look printable, like Carl Kessel, I think, for uh, Hawk and Dove. Carl Kessel made it look printable, serviceable. And then you got Dan Greenick in him for an issue of X-Men. It's bad, but it's like, okay, Dan Green's a great anchor, so he hit it pretty well. And then he started inking his own shit. You're like, oh, okay. And then it was all him. You're like, oh, okay, he's a terrible writer. It's not good. Mikey Getz says, you didn't get any offers as an Eisner nominee. Table for One's great. Did it get any offers? No, I didn't. I don't think it matters to people as much. I don't think to these companies as much. And again, I even had the great Dennis Kitchen taking, Table for One, by the way, guys, it was being shopped around for a year or two. And I was impatient beyond belief at a certain point. I was like, I want it out there. I just want it out there. I sat on it for like almost 2 years. That's your first book. You want it out there. And it ended up getting the most interest by Random House to publish it. I don't think they were publishing graphic novels at the time, but they were interested in it. And I sat on it, and they sat on it for a while. And I said, you know what? And after a time, I said, Dennis, I'm done. I'm done waiting. I want to get it out there. I'm going to self-publish it. That was it. And after I self-published it, when I was nominated for the Eisner, that's when, Dennis got back to me and was very impressed by that and tried to bring it to some other publishers. And that fell through too. Fine by me, as long as it was out there. But, Dennis was able to take Pigman out to um, publisher after publisher. He had enough nerve to do that. He understands free speech. He's a liberal. We don't agree on some things, but I think he's an old classical liberal, meaning he's for free speech. And in the end, he said, "Bosh, they're pussies." That was the end, result. He goes, he didn't expect them to be that, but they are. Because he knew it was good work. He knew he put his name behind it. He has his own cachet. The guy was Will Eisner's agent for a long time. He published a lot of those books also. Sorry, guys, my sleep thing came up, so I'm gonna get going soon. But let me finish up. Okay, Boombots. How is Rorschach based on Rand? He was willing to sacrifice himself at the end with no self-interest, which seems contrary to Rand's ideas. Just curious. He wasn't willing to sacrifice himself at the end, Boombots. He wanted to go and tell mankind that these savage fucks are trying to hide this horrific big lie about the world we live in, under the bodies of millions of New Yorkers. And when when Mr. Dr. Manhattan came there, Rorschach knew this guy's going to kill me. He was wise enough to that. And what's he going to do? He didn't sacrifice himself. He was murdered. He was murdered by Dr. Manhattan, that piece of shit who was completely indifferent to everything, right? Human life means nothing. I want to go to Mars. And then I'm going to kill you, Rorschach. It's like, that's stupid. It's retarded. To keep peace? Why does he care? That's a brutal move to make. He murdered him in cold blood. And it's Boombots. It's keep in mind, this is Alan Moore's perverted, version of Ditko's Mr. A and the Question, inspired by Ayn Rand's philosophy. So it's Moore trying to twist that philosophy. And still, the guy comes out on top as the most compelling character, period. And so he was, no matter what he tried to do, Moore, he was still a rational character. He was still the only one looking and say, this is impossible. You guys are going to let these guys get away with this? Never. The people must know. He was the conscience of the entire group. No matter how they tried to pervert him, he was the conscience. They were willing to play along with mass murder. You can't justify that. You can't rationalize that. I don't care. Moore tried to. Moore killed off the comedian. He killed the comedian. He killed Rorschach, and he killed all those New Yorkers. Alan Moore did in his story. It's on his hands. It's fiction, sure, but he's the one who actually pulled the trigger and did that. That tells you something about him and his idea about humanity. He has contempt for it. So, Headless Bourgeois says his self-interest was to refuse to compromise. Yeah, that's right. I am Zim says Rorschach was unwilling to compromise his highest values. He stuck to his guns to the bitter end. Exactly true, and that's why he's the most compelling character in the entire book. Whereas the comedian had moments, but he was a perverted version of Captain America. Corrupt, willing to do anything, willing to kill someone because they cut him and stuff. He's a bad guy, basically. But again, it's Moore's interpretation of what an American Captain America would be in the real world. He's a piece of shit, Moore. He's some Brit looking on, coldly at America, saying, "Huh, yeah, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna fuck that around." And that's what he did. Hey, matey, I'm gonna take that Captain America and make him into a pervert, like how he'd really be. It's like, no, that's a grotesque caricature. But still, they're still the most compelling characters, and they're the only right-wing ones, and they're the ones that, again, the book is bookended with the two murders of the two right-wing characters. The comedian, issue 1, Rorschach, issue 12. That's who Moore is. That's where Moore believes, and Moore also believes that you should get away with mass murder. You should, if it's for, to unite everyone. Unite everyone under mass murder? No, absolutely not. Comic Books in Cahoots says peace based on a lie is no peace at all, which is a trick, 100%. And it's grotesque, really. It's a complete contempt of humanity, of mankind. I know people try to say that humans are shit. No, they're not. Just because some are doesn't mean everyone is. Doesn't mean we all are. It's a nasty view. He's a real bitter fuck, Moore. And that was his view. It's a very dirty graphic novel in that sense, You look at that, you look at, Dark Knight Returns, far different, a philosophy going on there, far different. Boombots, thank you. Hamilton Berger, hey Bosh, just popped in to say hi. Hamilton, my man. Glad to have you here. Guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Let me continue. I like these tangents. Hope you guys don't mind them. I I appreciate them. We can get a lot covered there in terms of your commentary and me bouncing off it. Okay, blocks away. This is stick and stone. Sticks and stone. Hmm. Sticks and stones what do you call it? May break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So we got stick and stone here. Um, you must reconsider, Stick. The boy has talent. No, I was wrong about him. You've said it yourself 1,000 times. We need all the help we can get. He is undisciplined, emotional. Just look at what he did tonight. Even this, these broken windows, to tell what kind of place they're holed up in. I like that. He's undisciplined, emotional. Just look at. It's just a stupid commentary here by Stick. Is like he's a kid who went through hell, blinded, his followers murdered. What do you mean, you dummy? Of course he's gonna be emotional about it, and he wants to get these guys. It's justice. He didn't kill them. He broke them, hurt them bad. That's supposed to be. And what these guys kill. It's like, okay, well, what's the difference there? Lack of consistency. I'm not crazy about that kind of stuff. But Stone says, Stick. We are all that stands between the world and forces of mystic darkness, and we grow old. We need young blood, young strength. In this generation, only two adepts have been born, Matt Murdock and the girl Electra. It's interesting the way they introduce Electra before they introduce her. Just in these guys talking about it, that's pretty cool. I like that. Um, 1 second, guys. Just got to see something quick. Okay. Um, and already the girl has been infected with the dark ways. She could well end up recruited by the enemy. Matt Murdock must get one more chance, one more test. That is enough, Stone. No more discussion. We can't let our order be compromised. The boy has failed us. He is useless to us. Sure, Stick, sure. You idiot. That's just stupid shit right there. It really is. I mean, take the fact that consider the fact that this kid has gone through hell and he's still a good kid. And he feels remorse by knocking that woman out, the window, possibly dying. He's not some reckless, inhuman guy. Um, Columbia University 1 year later. 1 year later. Huh. Interesting. You look a lot smaller than that at that point, Matt. Hmm. Huff, huff, move it, fatso, honk off. This is Franklin Nelson, freshman student of law. His friends call him Foggy. Step it up, you tubbleard. Ha ha ha. These boys are not his friends. It's funny. Later at the dormitory, Foggy confers with his roommate. It was bad. It was Brad again. It was Brad again, Matt. Fellow freshman Matt Murdock. I've never done anything to him. I'm sure you haven't, Foggy. I'm sure there's no reason for it. Bullies never need a reason. Yep. Next day, Brad just won't let up. You be careful walking back to the dorm tonight, fat boy. No telling what could happen. Oh, lay off, will you, Brad? I'm not taking any orders from any blimps today, Nelson. It isn't until morning that anybody hears the muffled sobs. Brad's had a long night to think it over, to remember the strong hands that lifted him from his bed like he was a doll, that carried him across campus rooftops, that held him by the ankle dangling high above cruel pavement. Brad's had a long night to remember the hands and the voice. The voice chilled him more than the winter cold. The voice told him this was just a warning. The voice told him in great detail what would happen to him if Brad was anything but extremely pleasant to Foggy Nelson. By the time they come for him, Brad is a changed man, or at least he is a boy who has been taught a stern lesson. I like that, that kind of stuff. These guys need to pay a price for that. They have to. In real life, in stories. And so I don't know what to do, Matt. I can't think straight. Even when Brad doesn't come after me, I'm all tied up in knots. You can't live like that. I'm sure everything will work itself out, Foggy. A lot you know. Oh man, here he comes now. Excuse me, Nelson. May I have a word with you? Sure, Brad. What's up? Hey, check this out. I just want you to know I'm really sorry I've been riding you so hard. I've really been a jerk. Did you hear that? What's with Brad? If there's any way I can make good with you, just let me know. You're okay in my book, Foggy. It's okay if I call you Foggy, isn't it? Sure, Brad, it's fine. Get a load of that. You should have seen his face, Matt. I wish I could have, Foggy. I dearly wish I could have seen his face. Matt? Hi, it's me, Kathy, from Old Man Lynch's class. I was just wondering if you could help me out with the exam. Help me out with the exam, I'm a little confused on that Stolting versus West decision. I'm sorry, Kathy. She isn't confused. She doesn't need help in her studies. I can't help you. I'm late for class. And he can't allow himself to respond to her. He can't allow himself emotion. That much he has learned, the cost is too great. Again, that stupid idea where you're at war with your natural emotions like the Jedi, like this, it's just dumb. It's stupid because what happens is you implode and then explode out in the world. You got to make balance with it. You got to make peace with it. You got to understand it, accept it. You can't just, no, I got to freeze out. I can't feel anything. And then again, you're not being a natural human being, a full human being. You need to know how you feel about things. Sometimes that's how you discover how you actually think about them ultimately, just by a feeling about someone. It's like, it doesn't feel right, or it does feel right. And then you figure out, okay, self consciously after the fact. Don't like that kind of stuff. But that's what, you know, unfortunately, that's what a lot of fiction does. Emotion is the enemy. It's not. It's not. Only, healthy people understand it. They integrate it within their, intellect as well. It's part of it. It's not to be at war with, because, it's just not. She's like, sigh, what a creep. Oh, he's not so bad. He's just really intense, she says about Matt. That's pretty funny. It's a great shot here. Also, overhead shot of Matt and Foggy. Look at Foggy's area. Burgers and all that stuff, and food and TV on his bed and books, and he's fat. Another night falls, and once again, Matt Murdock finds himself coming alive just when he should be getting sleepy. Space, the final frontier. It's awesome. Foggy's watching Star Trek. Some reruns, I guess, at that point. These are the voyages. Its 5-year mission to boldly go click. Matt takes his boot and knocks off the thing. Perfect aim. It wasn't just the television that kept Matt awake. This is Foggy snoring could raise the dead. And just when you get used to it, he changes the tune. Nobody could sleep through that. No use kidding myself. It's not the snoring. It's nothing inside the room. It's outside, everywhere outside. It's the wind and everything it carries, everything it touches. It charges off the ocean, fierce, bitter cold. It rattles antenna and shakes power lines and leaves swirling snow in its wake. It's nice shots here, man. Just the scenery. Great angles, everything. It roars down concrete canyons and brittle branches clatter in combat, surrendering winter leaves that rustle and skitter like fairies, begging Matt to join in the dance. The city never sleeps. Down the street, warmth and kindness in a shivering soul, to a shivering soul. God bless you, man. This guy giving some warm pastries to a bum. Music from car radios in 100 different languages. Dogs yip and bark and whine. One howls, celebrating the night. This is pretty damn cool. Yeah. The comic books and goats, it sure is. Now you got Matt just, feeling his power, experiencing it, having to get out there, having to feel the world. And before he can even give it a thought, Matt joins the celebration because he's a lot different. Than the other heroes. He can feel it all, sense it all, hear it all, smell it all, the way no one can, except maybe Superman. Super hearing, super smelling, super touching. Um, Again, Miller did mention in his one interview, imagine the sexual act, Matt Murdock and the way he experiences it. Imagine the overwhelming sensations that he gets with his power of feeling and touch, and it must be overwhelming. And he's always hooking up with these, beautiful women in the Marvel universe. So here we go, guys. Going through the city like an acrobat. Look at that. That's very, very cool. That's just really cool. Good stuff there. It's just fun, man. That's a great shot right there. It's a great shot. Angles, everything about it, so damn good. I love the inking of Williamson there. That light overhead hitting that, everything else is dark, and this for again the light hitting overhead. That's all open there. Very, very cool, and no words, nothing. Love that. And then we got this. He senses something in the night, a scent, human and fragrant. Up here? Yes, and now a breath. Another. Nearby. A pulse, strong, steady, moving across the rooftops against the wind, defiant. Footsteps, light as a cat's. Over there. That scent again. Not a man's scent. Falling now. Crazy. She's falling. Crazy. She's crazy, whoever she is, jumping like that. He's just as crazy to follow her. But that scent of hers. Oof. It is a scent quickly smothered by the day-old garbage in which it lands. Sudden movement at his side. Not her. Hiss. He's lost her. No. From a distance, she tosses him a soft chuckle. That's nicely drawn there with those lines. Drawing him to her, taunting him. She's heading for the park. He senses someone like him. He locks on the scent, the tantalizing sounds. He can't lose her now. He'll catch her and find out who she is, provided the blind man can cross the street. He times it a little off because I think, he's so good with these things, but he's clearly enamored by Elektra and what he's feeling from her to the point where he doesn't quite take care of business and trips over and falls and gets a little sloppy. Help! Somebody help! And now a blood-chilling scream, followed by another chuckle, and her scent, clinging to rubber and cloth. A trail. Quite a trail. All her clothing is being removed in this ice-cold night. Like, what the hell am I dealing with here? Who would be doing that in this cold? What kind of person? Her underwear is on the tree also. He's like, what the? And past the blood pounding in his ears, an engine hums. A bottle pops beneath a tire. A man clears his throat. Freeze, creep. Don't move a muscle. I got him, Lou. You find the girl. Matt could run. He could flatten the cops. It would be easy. But that would be breaking the rules. That would be breaking the law. He remembers the last time he lost control. He remembers shattering window glass. He remembers a pathetic prayer to God. I'm all yours, officer. I don't get it, Saul. There's no sign of any girl. She must have run off. Let's see some ID, creep. Yes, sir. Now, hold on. This is really weird. Electra's having a ball here. Look at her. She's snickering. The cop says, this here ID says the creep is handicapped, blind. Must be crazy, going to the park at night. Yes, sir, I guess that was pretty stupid of me. He has blind privilege. The guy's like, nah, man, we're gonna let him go. And whoever that woman is, she enjoyed every second of it. He doesn't get in trouble, clearly, because they're like, what the hell, this guy's a poor blind guy. Next day on campus, I don't know how you do it, Matt. Here I study till I'm pooped to make the grade, and you just seem to breeze through. Maybe you shouldn't have the TV on when you hit the books, Foggy. Hey, let's not get radical, buddy. Hold it. I like the way Ramita makes the snow here. It's all angled in a certain way, guys. And then here, when they're speeding, you can see it moving directionally this way. I like that a lot. Screech. Yikes. What are you grinning about? You could have hit us. Matt, what? What are you doing? He doesn't care. He senses that lady from last night, hops in the car, and leave Foggy completely like, what the hell? Matt, sometimes you're kind of hard to figure out, pal. 95 in the snow. Her driving would scare anybody. 95 miles per hour in the snow with just a top, a thin top, like a guinea tea wife beater, and a convertible in the snow. It's been so long since Matt had a good scare. Lunatic. He tells himself he shouldn't enjoy this. And now the air goes thin, mountain air, the kind that makes your head go light. Snow stabs at exposed skin, painful, bracing. Excuse me, miss, but perhaps you should put the top up. Why? That's a great drawing right there. That's a great shot of Electra right there. It's really, really good. Nicely done. Nicely done. If you were able to see my arrow there, I'm talking about this one right here, guys. I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm not sure if you guys can see the arrow. Check this out. Great stuff here. Again, just really rock solid drawing. Skack. Look at that. She's breaking through there. Sudden lurch. Wild slalom. Look at this. Wide through clustered trees. Headlong rush towards certain death. Right at the edge. An expert spinning stop. Matt's heart is pounding. It feels great. We're close to the edge, Matt Murdock. One step from the end. She knows his name. This is where we belong. Always on the brink. Great shot, and very smart of Ramita to bleed off the top of the page to make it a particularly long shot that just bleeds right off. I love that. Making this bleed off also. The rest lead safe, numb lives, but you, when I saw you on the rooftops, I knew we're two of a kind, drawn to the edge and past it. She jumps right off the cliff. He's like, no, no. He remembers that one lady. And here's the next issue. I guess that was the last one. I won't go further here, but that's a hell of a cover too, man. Love that. Again, the overlighting, the underlighting, the musculature here. Knees. I remember when I was saying, no one draws knees like Charlie Jr. And that's true, but it's far more to it than that. I mean, his work. Look at these fingers also. The structure, knuckles. I mean, it's awesome. Really, really good stuff. And that's a great Electra too. Very, very cool. Thanks, Peter, guys. Appreciate it, man. I'm going to remind you guys to back Pigman. I would really appreciate your support, as always. I have 5 different covers. This banner was made by Shanth, also on Jetty, the fellow king. And I got 9-page preview, guys. You can see all this. Is one of the pages got knocked out. I gotta look into that, but if I change it, I might not be able to get right back on live on my campaign right away. I gotta look into that. But let me see something quick here, guys. If I can see it here. Okay. This is okay. Now you guys can see it more clearly. But yeah, guys, check it out. This is something, again, taking on a real world enemy in an in-depth way, not just through the physicality of it, but in the culture war aspect of it, taking on the stealth jihadists as well, fighting it ideologically through his books. Frank Warner, his Pigman's Secret Identity. He's been writing against Islamic Jihad for years. His writing partner was Dr. Muhammad, who was Super Jihad. They both turned on 9/11. One became completely against Islam and jihad. One went not sorry, completely. He was always against Islam and jihad, but he went in a physical way after that. He was like, "There's only so much I can push these ideas." After Bush said Islam means peace, he goes, "I got to get in the actual battle. Got to take the war into my own hands." and super jihad becomes, you know, a jihadist, a super jihadist, a souped up. And I got 5 different covers, guys. 5 different covers. I have a number of rewards here as well. Hard index card drawings of Pigman. You have T-shirts. I have digital copies of Pigman. I have a print, the war paint print. I have I Want It All pack. I have the trading card, Table for One as well, and I have also the war paint stickers. Just seems to be the one, it's the most popular cover of them all. The war paint one, that's the most popular one. 130 covers of those have sold, along with 130, and then also another 7 there for the packs, and then for all the covers. Excuse me. Excuse me. 150, 160 probably of those, which is good. Um, 10 of those only, 10 of those, 19 of those, and the first one, 51. Okay, cool. So guys, check it out. Thanks for being here, guys. Always appreciate your company. Always appreciate your support and give and take. And yeah, we'll go back and forth, guys. We'll you know, not always gonna be agreeing. We're gonna disagree naturally. And I'll try to do it with as much respect as I can, unless you get stupid. Unless you come after me like idiots out there, then it's a different story. If you start accusing me of killing babies, it's like you're out. That's retarded. It doesn't even make sense. Thanks, comic books coach. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here. So yeah, guys, consider backing Pigman. I would really appreciate your support. If you can like this video on YouTube while you're here, I would appreciate that as well. It seems like all of you are on YouTube here. All of you are on YouTube. I don't see any from X. Huh. It's interesting. There's a far more interactive uh, state on YouTube than there is on X in these videos, even though I get a far wider audience on X because my follower count, I have 26,000 on X. I only have 1,700 followers on YouTube. But thank you guys. It says there's 201 eyeballs right here, which is good, and all things considered. You always want more, but I'm good, especially at this hour. Um, so, guys, consider getting Pigman. I would really appreciate it, and I will have the next part 3 probably tomorrow night about the same time. I'm thinking 11:30. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it. Until next time, take care. Be well. Thank you.